This is going to be more of a darker background. I'm going to place where I think there'll be some more of these little pink flowers coming in. I think there's one right about here. Just the indication of where I want it later. As you see right now, there are 3 blooms. There's going to be 7 in all. Because you always make sure you try to get an odd number. You never leave an even number. That's just one of the rules of art. They just said it looks better to the eye if there's odd numbers. I don't know who wrote that rule, but that's just what I was taught, so that's the way it is. Today, I'm just going to lay in some shadows, and I'm going to be using the blue. I'm just putting shadows where I think the shadows should be. I'm trying to just lay in my darks and medium tones. I'm not going to do the lights right now. It does take the dark to show the light. Anytime you have a painting, you know, if you look at it, you can see, and if it's really popping, you will see that there's a big contrast in the darks and the light. Middle tones, working with middle tones today too, because it's not always just dark. And there you go. Yeah. I'm liking that. Putting all these different deals. We're just adding the foliage. When I took this picture of this hollyhock, there was a fence directly behind it with this climbing vine. It made for an awesome background. And that's what made me decide I want to paint this painting, is because of all the stuff behind it. The hollyhocks are going to be up front. Right now we're just working on all the background. The next session I will start on the lights. But today we're just coming in and kind of laying in some shadow areas and some medium tones. When you're painting like I am, I'm just kind of coming in and where I think there'll be shadows and the lights. I love this down here. I mean, that's just one of those little things that happen, and I really like the way it looks on this canvas. I don't know if you can see it real clear, but I like it. And there's some orange and yellow tones in this thing. That'll be the warmth. That'll be bringing in the light a little later on. But right now, like I said, we're just working on some middle tones. I am still using a flat brush. Doesn't look so flat right now, but it is a flat brush. And I just take it, and as you've seen what I do, I just take it and I can kind of tap and pull. Just whatever effect you may be wanting to reach with this right now. Now I'm laying in little leaves that I've seen on that vine behind the... And I just take the brush at a point and then turn it as I paint it. So you start out and then I turn it and make it form the little leaves. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's how we go about making those leaves. I'm going to do another. Okay, I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to lay it down, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to take it, lay it down, and turn it the other way. Okay, I didn't pull out. That's my little leaf. I do want to do random though. You don't, everything doesn't go in the same direction with the painting like this, because it all goes in different directions. Again, I'm going to start this way, lay it down, and then I'm going to pull my brush. I'm going to lay it down, and then I'm going to pull my brush in. That will make our little leaf. I do need to put that point in a little nicer. There we go. And pull it. Like I said, everything is random with this. It's all background right now, and well, I like that. I think I'll leave that half of it. I like the way that looks. And I'm working with the shadows and the medium tones today. You know, the stalks and different things. That's nice. And then I'm going to pull back. And I'm going to take some of that medium tone that I used, and I'm going to lay it kind of inside this here and pull. See how I created that? I just created a leaf, and it's got the shadow side, the shadows with it. I like that. And a leaf is not just one color. It's going to have varied colors. Of course, well, what I'm doing right now, you don't have to worry about the details because this is your background, and the background is pushed back. When I start bringing in the hollyhocks, they're going to be up front. What we are concentrating on today is putting in some shadows and your darks and your medium tones. In this area, all these sporadic darks, there's different places in here that I did. I use a sponge. This I got, you can get at your local department stores in the paint section. It's just a sea sponge. It's, you know, and it really puts a lot of nice looking texture in that painting. Like right here, let's go in here. So right here, if you can see it, what I'm doing. I'm adding more of this blue in there because I want it in there. Let's say right here. We'll put a little more in here. It really adds a nice texture to this painting. I'm adding the light to this painting. I used a fan brush to create the veins. I'm going to demonstrate a little bit for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Right here, I took the fan brush, and I'm going to come down here and show you. I'm going to go from the center of this hollyhock and pull out and try to follow it right through the vein. Using a light hand. I don't want a heavy hand with this because I'm just putting the little veins into this. You can see how we will create it. I know my arm may be getting in your way. I'm going to come down here and pull lightly. I don't want to add a lot of pressure to this. I'm pulling on out to the end. You always want the veins and the petals come right from the center because they're all connected right here. So we got to make sure they all look like they're coming from right here. You can't have one going off because it kind of make it look a little odd. But like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of this magenta because I want to darken that just a little bit right here. Again, I'm using the fan brush and I'm pulling lightly. I'm going to pull it on out or come over here to the end and kind of go in. You can see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, I'm adding little dark veins with this. It's not all one color. It's coming in, adding a little contrast. It's wet. You come in and hit your little lines, and you can see where it's at. I'm going to touch it. I'm going to pull those lines in. Just come on in. I'm going to kind of pull it on down with my finger. Come in where I think that light's the brightest and touch it. Okay. Now I'm going to get a little of the yellow, the lightest of yellow, and I'm going to come in and add some light to my leaves. I've already added some, but I think it'll look nicer if I add just a little bit more. Like right here, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to come in where this light is really hitting this. And I'm going to bring this in and try to add a little bit more light to that. Not a lot. Don't want to lose what we've already got, but I'm come in here with my liner brush, still using my liner brush. I'm going to pull it to add just a little more light because that's where I think it's hitting it. There you go. It's going to be underneath, so you're going to see the shadows under here because of that light. It's hit this one, but these are laying underneath this one. It's casting a shadow. But it's, you can still see where your light source is coming from. The stem, I want to add a little light more of the yellow tones into this. If this is getting hot here, this should be hot right here too. So again, I'm coming in, get me some more of this yellow. I'm going to add a little more. You see how that, brighten that up right quick? Pull that up a little bit. Again, I'm coming in here, going to add this light right here. because I want it there. I'm going to add a little more light to this stalk. Let's see if we can get that just a little bit more light in that. I'm going to put this blinder brush up. I'm going to grab my angle brush for this. And then I'm going to grab that and try to, there you go. Oh, that's so much nicer, isn't it? It does pay to have the right tools. I have it like right here on this stalk. I think I cleaned most of it off. Let me get a little more. Add it right there where you think that little shadow is into that stalk. Down. Okay. And now I'm going to blend this. It won't just sit here. We'll blend it on in. Not taking it all out. It's still got the. There you go. There you go. I like that right back there. I'm pulling it over because this should be round. You can see, I'm going to show you again here. Coming up, and we're going to pull it up. And right here is the intersection of those two. We're going to keep pulling it on up here. Bring it on up. And I'm going to come over here on this side because that's where my light source is. It's there. Oh, wasn't that nice? Okay, I'm going to come down here now. I'm going to come back on this side. Pull it back in. I hope you can see this. And I'm just taking it and blending the red and yellow together. Which makes a very lovely shade of orange, doesn't it? A little red on these here will definitely enhance your painting because green and red are complementary colors. Now I'm going back down into the shady area where they join. And come back and hit a little more yellow right there to separate this right here, because this is where they separate. I hope you. Okay, I'm coming in, going to add a little more of this red to separate these two. You can see the separation taking place. If you back up and look, then you usually can spot something you'd like to do to your painting. So it's always a good idea just to back up and look at your painting across the room. Okay, I think we're going to call this done. I did want to tell you something about the composition here. I did start out with a reference photo I had taken of my hollyhocks, but I went in and I used it, and then it started taking on its own life. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it.